This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and we are here to help you with your car every Saturday from 11 to noon. At Bumper to Bumper Radio, we're helping the motorist have a better car experience. If you got a car, you probably got questions, we're your guys. Give us a call at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. You can also text us at 411-923. And today on the Bumper to Bumper Road Map, we're going to get to some of those emails that we get from Bumper to Bumper Radio. A little bit of open phones, or actually a lot of open phones and texts. And then glitches. When do you got a glitch? When does your glitch need stitches?
Need to fix that glitch, huh, Dave?
For sure. But, I know the word glitch, and it kind of brings some. I Googled the word glitch because I want to see what the heck the definition of glitch was. And a glitch is a sudden, usually temporary, malfunction of irregularity of equipment.
Or irregular.
Oh, okay. Not everyone has to know I don't know how to read.
That's all right. Well, I think the reason this comes up, Dave, is because we both get it in our shops. People come in and they have an intermittent problem, which might be. I mean, we're kind of starting to blend over into the different area here, intermittent or a glitch. Or is there a problem when does it become not really worth fixing or going after? And so you have this problem where on the third Tuesday of every other month, the car doesn't shift right, or maybe it hesitates upon starting or taking off from the stoplight. It doesn't quite go like you think it ought to, and maybe it's not. Maybe in fact it doesn't go like it should. When do you ignore that, or when do you wait, or what do you do? How do you handle those intermittent, glitchy problems?
Well, the reason this came to me as a topic, I had a Honda 2001 in my shop, 209,000 miles, and he had two concerns. Is that when you start the car up, when you put it in gear, it's got a little lag when you first give it gas. It just happens one time. The rest of the day, it's totally fine. It's just that one time, and it's a momentary thing. It's like a half a second thing. And so that was one of the guy's concerns, and he said once in a while when you punch it to downshift, it shifts hard, and that happens twice a week, and he drives about 50 miles a week.
I drove like 97 miles yesterday. I mean, that's got to never happen. It's
got to never happen, and the thing of it is the car's got 209,000 miles on it. We drove it. We didn't feel the downshift thing. We did experience the kind of lag when it's cold and the engine's starting up and all that stuff. And we start looking at it, and the O2 sensor is a little slow, and the idle air motor's maybe a little slow, a little tired, 209,000. There's a whole bunch of things that are a little bit bad that make up to this one weird little problem that it's cold.
You've got a new word for that, don't you?
What's that?
All those little things that add up to something.
Exactly. So I forgot what my word was. It was tolerance stack.
Stacked tolerances?
Stacked tolerances. And my technician said it this week, and I said, that's a perfect word for that. Because it's a little here, a little there, and then it all adds up to a little something. But it would cost you $1 gazillion to fix that little problem that's just a glitch once in the morning, and it's really not a big deal. It's kind of like this, and I told the guy, I said, hey, listen, I get out of bed a lot slower than I did 10 years ago. I'm just getting old, but there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not, welcome to old age.
Right.
This car's got 209,000 miles on it.
Well, and worse yet, I mean, and there's some cases, now we've got to put this in perspective. Now, you've got your car with 71,000 miles on it, and it's got this problem. We're not going to just chalk that up. I hate that when people say, well, I'm just going to let it, run it to the ground. Well, you don't really need to let this car run to the ground. You don't, and don't ignore it, because that car was 71,000 miles. You want to fix it. But don't ignore it. We need to have these conversations. And I definitely, we didn't talk about this before the show, Dave, but I don't want to get this confused with the guy who just doesn't know how to fix the car, because we see that all the time.
Yeah, that happens all the time. Oh, yeah, all Chevys are that way.
Yeah, just don't.
Oh, the all Chevys answer. That's the big broad brush. Oh, all Fords do that.
They all do it.
They all do that. Well, that Ford has a different motor than that Ford in it. It's not all the same.
Or the check engine light. Oh, just ignore that.
Mm-hmm.
No, that light, those things are there for a reason. but you have this little problem. And worse yet, you talk about spending, several $100s to fix the problem. Sometimes it takes several $100s to find the problem, and you may not even find it. I mean, when we're diagnosing cars, we're testing. We've got to do a series of different tests. We have to know what's good. We have to go through a process of known goods. And it can cost a couple $100s to find a whole lot of stuff that's good and still not come up with the bad thing.
Yeah, you're still not there. In this guy's case with his Honda, I said, hey, listen, because I think it was appropriate for him to still have it checked out. We did our due diligence. We checked it out. We experienced his problem, the one problem. We didn't experience the other problem. But what he was describing to me, there was nothing fundamentally wrong with the car. It didn't need any attention. It wasn't something where something big would happen if he ignored it. It's just old age. My knee gets a little, stiff every now and then when the weather gets cold.
Well, let's talk about a problem. It may not be a glitch, but something that is probably drawn to people's attention this time of year is that creaking going over pulling out of the driveway first thing in the morning or going over some bumps.
The old squeaky bushings.
The squeaky bushings. Are you going to go in and replace what could be several $100s of bushings because the thing squeaks a little bit on cold mornings? Well, probably not. Now, there's some people, you're a real estate agent, you use your car, you're driving clients around.
You don't want it to sound like a jalopy?
Yeah, I mean, you're using the valet a lot. Whatever your job is, you're in a high profile, if you will. You don't want the car squeaking and making all kinds of noise. So, but if you want to Uber maintain your car and keep it in perfect condition, yeah, maybe you want to do that. Because when they're squeaking like that, that's a sign that those bushings are getting worn, but you need to go spend a bunch of money right now. I would tell my customer, if you want to, great, but you know what? Your tires are looking good. You don't need a line, but you're going to need tires in the fall next year. So maybe then's the time to we'll keep monitoring those things, and those are conversations you have to have with the shop.
Well, it's kind of my definition of shoes, because it's hard for the technician world or maybe in the customer world to understand. If I buy a pair of shoes and I wear them around for 2 weeks, I can guarantee you there's going to be wear on those soles, but those shoes are still really, really good. So in the squeaky bushing thing, if the bushing is still there, it's still intact. Yeah, they're getting a little dry maybe, just from age and weather, and they got in the water and this and that and the other. But they're still fine. They're just noisy, but fundamentally they're not broken. But there is a time when bushings are totally bad, and you hit the brakes and your control arm moves back and forth 2 inches. That's a problem.
Well, but I bet that control arm bushing broken like that started out as a squeaky bushing. Started out there was a little bit more. So there is a difference between totally ignoring the car though.
Yeah, but there's some wear that's just, you're going to look at anything mechanical, you're going to find some sort of wear on it. And the other thing I want to get to here on this Honda, I'm just going to use this as an example. And he's probably listening because I think he was a radio listener. But on this Honda, is that car was only new once. Because I said, well, here's the deal. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's just a welcome to old age for this car. There's nothing really to fix. And he says, listen, it drives my wife nuts. You know how the saying goes, right? Happy wife, happy life. I said, yeah, no, that's a tough thing. We're just going to have to buy her a new car. That's the only way you're going to fix all these little glitches here.
Or change the expectations, right? I mean, yeah.
That's an idle relearn that happens in the morning. No. But I hear a lot of people that mechanics will blow off some of those small problems. They should always be looked at so you at least know what it is, and not just like a cursory look where nobody really paid attention to it. Because I think sometimes people go to shops with real problems, and because the shop doesn't know how to fix it, or they don't even know how to begin to start to want to fix it, they blow it off. Yeah. They discount it, and then they say, oh, yeah, but you need some new shocks and struts and tires and all the things that we sell here.
Yeah.
But as far as your other little problem that's actually a huge problem but we don't know how to fix, we're going to sell you struts.
You should be having a conversation about it, at least. Talk to your service advisor, talk to the technician, have them take a look, give you some advice. Dave, at the shop, at my shop, we're telling people sometimes, and think about this as a consumer. If you're out at the shop, if sometimes your shop is not telling you, hey, we can wait on this repair, you got to wonder. I know we're telling people all the time, we don't need to do this today. If you really want to, we can. We've identified an issue. We always have notes. Monitor.
Keep an eye on it.
You can overbuy auto repair.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely overbuy auto repair. So today I'm thinking if you guys have a problem in your car and you don't know if it's a glitch, if it's something you need to be worried about, give us a call at 602-277-5827. If you got any problem in relation to your car, Maybe it's your wife's car, your brother's car. He's asking a question, and you want some information. Give us a call, 602-277-5827.
One of those other little glitches, there's some that we can ignore, but this time of year, you're going out to your car, you're going to start it, and and it finally starts up, or maybe you listen to the radio too long, and the battery's getting weak. You don't want to ignore that. I think you need to. Someone making fun of my noises. You need to get in, get that battery checked. Dave should turn off his phone. I know the battery's working in Dave's phone. It must be an Interstate. But you can find Interstate batteries at most all the bumper-to-bumper radio shops. Go in there any time of year. Now is the time of year you don't want to be stuck in the parking lot with a bad battery. You don't want to be out shopping. You're going to church midnight mass. And
if you're one of those people that's lucky enough to get a warning sign from your car, batteries are rated in cold cranking amps because they don't do as well when it's cold. So that's when they rate them, when it's the worst, right? So if it gives you a little warning, consider yourself lucky. Go get yourself an Interstate battery. So when we come back, we're taking your calls at 602-277-5827. You're listening to Matt and Dave. You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Fix it or forget it. This is the show that'll help you decide what to do with your car. Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Well, Dave, I think we have touched a nerve because those phone lines just blew up. There's 5 of them going. So if you weren't listening a few minutes ago, I'm Matt Allen along with my good friend Dave Riccio, and we are Bumper to Bumper Radio here every Saturday helping you with your car. We were talking about intermittent problems and glitches.
And I think people are wondering, it's like, I got one of those problems, but I know I'm going to take it to the shop, and it's not going to happen. And they'll be like, oh, it's going to happen if we're going to fix it. That's what we must sound like every day at the counter. But, if you got one of those things, it's still worth mentioning, and I hate when shops just blow up. You think you're having a problem. Hey, let's give it a shot. Let's look at it. Let's see. And then we'll know. We'll make some notes and keep an eye on it. I mean, that's what's literally going to happen. Is it going to get worse? Sometimes a problem, we'll just tell the customer, listen, if the problem persists and gets some worse, let's go after it. But at this point, it's still one of those, every 5th Tuesday on every 5th month or something.
Be like the doctor. Put some super unleaded in it and call me in the morning. That's right. Yeah.
But don't if your car doesn't need super unleaded. It's a waste of money. How to clarify that.
That is very true. Very true. So...
you look confused. But let's go to Up Versus segment. We've got a 2008 Mustang GT, and I can't see the name there, Matt. Tell you how
Jack's got a Mustang. What's happening, Jack?
Well, I'll tell you, it was an intermittent problem, but now it's becoming a major problem for me, and I need some help, guys. What my Mustang was doing is it would drop to idle, and the engine wouldn't die, but it wouldn't accelerate. And then if I turned the engine off, turn it back on, it'd drive fine for a while. Now it does it constantly, so I took it to the shop. They said the computer had to be reset, and only a dealer could do
it. That is code word for we don't have the right tools or equipment to fix the car.
That's why I called you guys.
But wait a minute, one more time, Jack. So we're standing at the counter, and you're coming in. Good morning, Jack. How you doing? What is going on with your car again? Tell me about that one more time.
What it does is it will go along, and then it'll all of a sudden just drop to idle. It will not. The gas pedal doesn't do anything to it.
Reduce power mode, possibly.
Okay, so you're just cruising along 40 miles an hour down the road, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, the car won't do anything but just stand at idle.
Right, and it won't die. It just stays at idle.
Okay, and then you cycle the key.
Yeah, and I have to stop it.
Cycle the key, start it back up, and then it drives fine for a little bit.
Right.
Okay. Well, it's going into a fail-safe mode.
Yeah,
the question is why.
These cars they no longer have throttle cables that run from the pedal to the throttle body. It's drive-by-wire, so there's a sensor on the pedal, and there's a sensor out there on the throttle motor, and those things have to correlate in order for it to work properly. And the fail-safe on them, because they don't want the car to go taking off on you,
like a jet,
is just to go into fail-safe, and it's just no power mode or reduced power mode. So it doesn't have to go to a dealer to be fixed. There's probably half the shops out there can fix
and those
a problem
can be
like
complicated.
They can be.
There's redundant, so you're going to have one switch one sensor at the gas pedal that's reading voltage from 1 to 5 volts, and then it's the opposite. There's 5 to 1, and they've got to match each other or be opposite. They have to mirror each other, and then that's going to give that signal out to the throttle. And like you said, Dave, they're gonna if the computer's seeing something it doesn't like, it's just going to shut the whole thing down. We don't want to go wide open throttle through the intersection or have a runaway car, you know.
And what he's doing by cycling the key is he's kind of just resetting it, hitting the reset button, turning the car back on, and everything works. And it's not going to do that till the computer sees that bad information. Hey, we got a problem here, and then throws you back in reduced power mode.
So what they could be meaning when they say the computer has to be reset, it's not like Control-Alt-Delete and rebooting your computer. There could possibly be a reflash or a reprogramming of the computer to correct a problem that happens under certain conditions.
Mm-hmm.
It very well could be that the throttle position, our throttle pedal position sensor is bad. It could be the motor. I mean, again, we have to tell it what we're doing with our foot. The computer then has to take that information and tell that motor, hey, open 12 degrees. So somebody's not doing what they're told, or somebody's not listening to what's happening, or something's going on. There's definitely something going on there. There's bumper-to-bumper shops. I've got the Ford equipment at Virginia Auto Service. I know Greg at ADS does.
We can handle it. Tri-City.
Tri-City. Dave Denman has the Ford factory equipment. You don't even need necessarily the factory equipment. You just have to have the ability to reprogram and reflash.
Yeah, and really, I think most of the bumper-to-bumper shops have that capability. If you go to bumper2bumperradio.com, Jack, just you can put in your zip code there, and you'll be able to find a shop nearby you. So we're going to go with Greg in Phoenix. Looks like he has a 1990.
Greg got a Hummer.
Hummer. How can we help you, Greg? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Let me tell you what I have. I've got a 1990 military version of the H1. Bought it at auction, got it home, was able to start it and get it running, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Didn't want to drain all the fuel out of the tank, and now I cannot seem to get it running whatsoever. And I'm wondering what you guys think. Whenever I try to start it, it's blowing white smoke out of the pipe, so I know it's getting spark. I'm wondering if you think there might be water in the lines.
You know, I don't know, Dave, all these, smoke tells you a lot on a diesel. I know if Greg from ADS was here or Kurt from Shadow Mountain or Kurt's Auto Repair, they would be telling us. So are you saying you had that running, Greg?
I've had it running multiple times, and now it won't run at all.
Okay. I believe, because I remember one of the days I was driving a tow truck and ran out of fuel.
Yeah.
And as I was running out of fuel, the thing was blowing all kinds of white smoke. So I believe it is low on fuel pressure, so you could have an injection pump problem. It's not delivering enough fuel. But those 6.2-liter diesels, that's the early GM version.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a whole lot about those. I know I have a whole toolkit that's never been used from when we had those Chevrolet tow trucks. But I'm going to refer you. I would say you're going to have to go to one of the bumper-to-bumper guys that is a Bosch diesel service center or a diesel expert.
I think Kurt at My Car Hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Yeah,
they're up there on I-17 and Bell Road. A lot of those guys love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So thanks for the call, Greg. Looks like we're going to go with Stacy in Peoria on a 2012 Ford Transit Connect van. How can we help you, Stacy?
Hi, good morning. I just have a question. I have a service vehicle. I own a small pet control business, and I have a service vehicle, which is a Ford Transit Connect van, that I got the brakes replaced with the rotors, the pads, and everything about 4 months ago because it was making this awful grinding noise. It sounded like it was metal on metal. But when I took it to the shop, they said that, yeah, the brake pads were worn, but it wasn't anything that should cause that grinding noise. So we had them change all that out, and it was fine up until about a month ago when it started making that horrible grinding noise again. It just sounds like my brakes are just going to like crumble and just fall off. And so I took it back to the shop, and they said that, oh, well, sometimes, the brake pads and rotors need to be resurfaced. So they resurfaced it, and it was fine for about a week. And then here I am again with it sounding horrible again.
How many miles are on that van?
64,000.
64,000. So you got your first brake job or major brake job in that 50,000-mile mark? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, most of the problems on brakes, and I've seen that before, Dave, these things just sound horrible. It could be a brake. Most noise from brakes is vibration, and we've got to get the noises to cancel each other. And that may come with lubricating the backing plates or the back of the brake pads, the caliper pins. Dave and I took a tour of the Centric brake plant last summer. And what you could be having to is pad transfer. You're getting, if you have incompatible brake material, so your brake pad is one material, and your brake rotor maybe is a high carbon steel versus a standard cast iron. A bad matchup. If those two, not all brake pads and not all brake rotors can go together. So if we've got some transfer of material there, then we might have that happening. So we've got to look at the compatibility of the brake pads.
And people don't realize, as a shop, I can call up and I got 100, but I got 10 different choices of pads I can buy for one car, and people have no idea that I have that many choices.
Yeah, and you can mix and match, and it's not always the best. That's what I like about the Centric is they have the match sets, the preferred. This pad goes with this rotor, and
sometimes they'll say, this pad goes on a police car. It's not built to be nice and quiet. It's built to like slam on the brakes when you're chasing robbers and stuff.
Hey, I got to give a quick shout out to my pool plumber Trey. I've got a guy working at my house. I'm lucky enough to be having a swimming pool put in, so I promised him I'd say hey. So hey Trey, keep on plumbing away.
We'll be back 602-277-5827.
Here's what Carrie from Tempe had to say about her experience with Good Works Auto Repair.
As soon as you realize, I need to get some work done on my car, I'm sure the thought occurs to you that you're about to get taken for a ride. I used to share the same sentiment and wondered if the shop was going to make something up and have me spending hundreds of dollars instead of $30 I was planning on for a simple oil change. This is one of the reasons I will only go to Good Works Auto Repair. Because I trust them. Putting trust in an auto shop didn't come easily. It's been built over several visits with them doing exactly what was needed, not coercing me into unnecessary work. Ask them for an oil change and a safety inspection, they do just that. No baloney, list of filters, belts, and whatchamacallits that need replacing on my new car. Thank you, Good Works Auto Repair, for being there for me when I need you.
Appreciate the kind words. It's always a pleasure. Glenn Hayward here. Come experience what award-winning auto service should be. Good Works Auto Repair in Tempe, or visit us at goodworksautorepair.com.
Great Desert Golf just got a new name, formerly known as Tagava. The newly renamed Verde River Golf and Social Club is now open. A challenging but fair layout is soon to be the social and recreational hub for the Trilogy at Verde River, Shea Holmes' newest master planned community in Arizona, bordering the Tonto National Forest and the Verde River with spectacular views of the Four Peaks. Make sure you and your foursome are first to check out the new Verde River Golf and Social Club. For great rates, tee times, and more information, visit verderivergolf.com.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and bumper-to-bumper radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt.
KTAR News, on air, 92.3 FM, online at KTAR.com, and on every device with the KTAR app. Arizona's breaking news and traffic, now.
KTAR News Time, 11:30. I'm Mike Sackley. Arizona Senator John McCain says the only way to stop ISIS is to send more ground troops to Syria and Iraq.
This administration and this president is still clueless, and there will be
more attempts at attacks on the United States of America, and I'm sorry to say that.
But the Obama administration has argued that much of the blame for the rise of ISIS rests with Congress for not providing enough money for the fight. McCain supports a no-fly zone over Syria while adding 10 to 15,000 ground troops in Syria and Iraq. Speaking of McCain, he will be appearing alongside Mitt Romney at a campaign event today at Dobson High School. It combines the Republican presidential nominees from 2008 and 2012. McCain is looking to fend off Republican challengers as he seeks his sixth term in the Senate. And the U.S. envoy to the climate talks in France says the United States will agree to the draft climate change accord announced today. Todd Stern spoke to reporters shortly before negotiators from nearly 200 countries were to begin their final meeting at the conference site outside Paris. The unprecedented deal to slow global warming begins by cutting and then eliminating greenhouse gas pollution. And now let's get a check on traffic in the KTAR Traffic Center. Here's Mike Daniels.
Thanks, Mike. In Glendale, we had that crash in the clearing stages, 51st Avenue in Myrtle, and the I-17 frontage road remains closed, both directions, north and southbound, right between Jefferson and Van Buren. They've got that traffic signal installation work going on there. This closure in effect till 5 p.m. tonight. I'm Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
Thank you, Mike. Partly cloudy skies. We could see a lingering isolated shower today. The high 59 degrees, clear overnight and chilly, a low of 39. Sunny skies for tomorrow with a high of 60 degrees. Right now in Sun City, 55. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. Whether replace or repair, call Howard Air. Matt and Dave, KTAR's Car Guys on Bumper to Bumper. Back with you next. I'm Mike Sackley, KTAR News.
Hi, I'm Scott, General Manager with Whitey's Auto Repair here in South Scottsdale. We built a reputation for quality auto service and repair for over 45 years, and our customers have come to trust us for our recommendations. We value that trust, and that's why when it comes to transmissions, for the past several decades, we have been recommending Tri-City Transmission. They have yet to disappoint. I feel so strongly about it, I wouldn't go anywhere else. Why would you? Google them online today at tricitytransmission.com. Go where the pros go. Tri-City Transmission.
Hi, Lisa Henry with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A-plus rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. Bree is doing some creative things over there as our board op. She's a fantastic job, our associate producer.
Sounds like someone's got the pedal down.
For sure. Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and we are here helping you with your car. You got any car questions? We're your guys. If you got a car glitch, we're your guys. Maybe you got a glitch, and we're going to be like, don't worry about it.
Glitches get stitches, right?
Yeah, glitches get stitches. Should you worry about it? Don't worry about it. Give us a call. We'll talk through that, 602-277-5827. You can also text us at 411-923, and then we'll get to some text here, but we're going to go with Janet in Phoenix on a 1999 Mercury Grand Marquis. How can we help you, Janet? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I think I have what is called a glitch, and it's got my husband and our auto shop stumped. The car when you turn the key, just clicks. That happened a couple of months ago. We had the car towed to our shop. They said everything tested fine, but they cleaned the battery cables, and it started great. It ran for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then it happened again. We got the car home. We had a new starter installed. Worked fine. The other day, went to start it in the garage, and click, click, click again. My husband tried to jump it with his jump starter. That didn't work. Pushed it out. He ended up starting it, drove it to have the alternator and the battery tested, and they all tested fine. Nobody can seem to figure out what is going on.
Well, and that's one of those ones where you probably want that one fixed, right, Dave?
Yeah, you definitely want that fixed. A glitch, a sudden, usual, temporary malfunction or irregularity of equipment. It sounds like that, but that glitch would be like one of those glitches you can't ignore. That's like a zit on the end of your nose.
Well, and it seems to be a bit more consistent. I was going to suggest, there's different ways you can test a battery. We have these new digital testers, and they use a lot of predictive analysis, and they can go and test the battery. And we see some of those say that the batteries are good. I still have the old style carbon pile tester where you can just lay down
lay down some rubber.
Yeah, you crank up that carbon pile and just draw that battery down. You can really draw 400 or 500 amps out of the thing, where these testers aren't loading the battery. You know what I mean? A wire the size of a hair can carry voltage, but how much voltage? But when you said jump start, that kind of got that out. But this is that era of Ford where I think the ignition switches fell apart too. So I might be having the shop remind them of that. We tend to forget about these things.
Ignition
sometimes.
switch, there's a MLPS on the side of the transmission, and sometimes they also refer to it as a neutral safety switch, so you can't start the car when it's in gear. And if that's out of adjustment a little bit,
but it clicks, so it sounds like ground connections, negative battery cables. Now sometimes people put on those little chintzy bolt-on replacement cables.
Oh yeah,
that in and of itself
Fisher
can be
Price
a problem.
cable ends.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I was thinking too, we don't think about is maybe we got something that's drawing the battery down overnight. Maybe that light in the trunk is staying on, and so the battery's weak in the morning. By the time you get it started, you get it down to the shop, it's all charged up, and everything's happy again.
Yeah, but the jump start didn't help. Just thinking. I mean, it's one of those. It'll be a challenge. I mean,
but it can be fixed.
Yes, it needs to be fixed. That car. I mean, you're not going to ignore the car that won't start.
So stick with it. Stick with the same shop. If you don't have a shop that you feel is competent, go to bumpertobumperradio.com. You're in Phoenix. You'll find shops there. Thanks so much for the call. 602-277-5827. We're going to go with Gerald on a 1998 Acura 3.2. How can we help you, Gerald? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Well, thanks for taking my call. It's a 98 Acura 3.2 liter. With just turned 150,000 miles. We've had the car 16 years. It's been a fantastic car. Just within the last 2 weeks, the check engine light came on. I immediately stopped at a shop, and they quoted me $1,000 for a new EGR valve. I did take it to my regular mechanic, and I had it replaced, picked it up yesterday for substantially less than the $1,000, drove home. Within 15 minutes, got in the car, and the check engine light is back on again. And I've YouTubed and gone online, and I'm a little worried because it could be a consistent problem with things going down the road. Replace one part, go to another part, and etc.
Gerald, I've been shaking my head the whole time when they talked about the EGR valve getting replaced. And you have to know, and the shop has to know, what does the code say? Is it an EGR flow problem? I'm not sure. I believe on that car that is a vacuum-controlled EGR valve, and it uses a solenoid to allow the vacuum to pass. A very easy test. We're going to put a vacuum gauge on there. We're going to drive that car and see if it's got vacuum under the conditions that it should. The gauge will act as the EGR valve, and if we see 15 inches of vacuum or whatever it should be, that means that the EGR valve should be working. Then we're going to take a vacuum pump and we're going to apply vacuum to the EGR valve, and the car should stall. Very, very common. I'm going to say all Hondas do it, right, Dave? I mean,
right. You're one of those guys. All V6 Hondas do it.
V6,
Let's clarify.
Yeah, let's clarify. A lot of the V6 Hondas The EGR valve is designed to it's exhaust gas recirculation. So it's taking exhaust gases and it's reintroducing them back into the intake manifold so that they're burned through the engine. So go look at your exhaust pipe, go look at your chimney, and you're going to have soot. Well, what happens is that soot builds up and it plugs up that EGR passage, and they get all filled up with carbon. Now, I'm going to back up a little bit. Maybe, this is that radiator. I call the customer and I tell them, yeah, you have a bad radiator and we should put hoses on and do a thermostat and flush the system and put a cap on, and it's going to be $1,000. And the guy says, no way. So he calls the next guy and says, how much for a radiator?
Oh, yeah.
$400, right? Oh, man, they were ripping me off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the first guy might want to take that intake off and clean those passages and a little rotor-rooter in there.
Exactly. So maybe you needed an EGR valve. Maybe that EGR valve is bad, but maybe the first guy, not only was he going to do the EGR valve, but he was going to clean that out, put the carbon cleaner in there, and take care of the whole system.
Every now and then you make a really good point.
I do.
That was one of them.
Once in a while. And that's a great car. My dad's got a 99 TL. Those things, I mean, that's just a baby, 150,000 miles on it. Go have them double-check the EGR passages, and I think that'll take care of your problem.
Hey, Matt, I think we should get some of these texts. 2000 Buick Rendezvous, check engine light came on 2 weeks ago, showing that the thermostat not opening, running too cold, too long, went away, then came back, just waiting for it to come back. Thoughts, Mike Phoenix. What do you think?
If I remember right, a couple of weeks ago we had a little cold spell, just like we're having this morning. It's been nice and warm the last couple of weeks. So what's happening, Mike, the thermostat, for emissions control, we want to get that car into what's called closed-loop operation as fast as possible, meaning the computer is controlling the fuel delivery and how the car drives. We do that now with oxygen sensors, really control that more, exhaust gas temperature sensors.
We got to get that thing warm quickly.
Engine coolant. They want that car running hot, fast. I mean, it's got to get up to 200 degrees quick. So the thermostat's probably just stuck open. That's why it's turning that light on. Some cars have a blue light. The light will come on. I know our Scion
special blue light.
Yeah, blue light special. So you need to fix it. It's going to affect your fuel economy. It could contaminate your oil prematurely. And then you're not going to get that nice warm
your heater, yeah, it's cold. It's going to be real nipply. So the thermostat doesn't open until the car comes up to operating temperature. Then it lets the coolant flow.
Well, in this case, the thermostat is stuck open probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's allowing water to flow and not letting it warm up fast enough. Not a big deal. Have someone flush it out, put a new thermostat in it. Might as well put a new radiator cap on it and stick with the proper factory coolant.
Well, let's do this. Let's go to, looks like Tina in Cave Creek, and then we got to get to some of these emails. Hey, Tina, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio. How can we help you today?
Hi there. I have a Jeep Wrangler, and I have the tire pressure light keeps coming on and staying on. And I took it to the dealer, and what happened was about 3 months ago, my friend bought a Jeep, didn't like the wheels. So I said, I'll buy your wheels off you with the tires on them. So we put all the wheels from his new Jeep onto my Jeep, and now this light won't go away. And the dealer's telling me it would be $800 to change all the sensors in each wheel. So I find it hard to believe that the sensors are bad in brand new Jeep tires, but the light is driving me nuts.
What year was your buddy's Jeep that you got the wheels from?
15.
2015.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the sensors probably are not bad, but those all work off of a radio frequency. So they've got to be able to communicate. So I don't know what the frequencies are, but let's just say your car...
92.3?
Yeah, 92.3. Let's say your car is running on 92.3, but you got 98.7 on the new wheel speed sensors, or channel A or channel B, whatever analogy. So I'm sure the sensors in that new Jeep are good. The question is whether or not they're compatible. I think $800 might be a little bit steep. I bet if you were in the area of S&S Tire, I know they would be able to take care of that for you. You have to probably you can take your tires. Now I don't know if you switched with your buddy or whatever happened, but you can probably take your old tires and wheels, take the sensors from those, and transfer them over. There's a little rebuild kit with some seals and O-rings to put those back on. And it's going to be the cost of dismounting, remounting, and balancing the tires.
Ain't no $800.
No, it's too much. I bet Discount can handle it for you. That's what I would do.
Well, we've got this email from, oh, you know what? I got the wrong email here. This one is from David B. Hey, I've got a 2012 Grand Caravan that runs rough. When I drive it, when he's sitting at the light, he's on the brakes, it runs rough. I'm just doing a little ad-lib here. He had gone in and got an oil change. In the shop, when they changed the oil, they left the air box disconnected because they checked the air filter, and that's something that can happen. So he noticed it's running rough. He went back to the shop 2 months later and said, because he noticed the air box was left disconnected, and he said, hey, you guys left this loose. Now my car's running rough. He said they kind of just brushed that off. And then they sold him some engine mounts, and his car still vibrates. What the heck should he do? What are the first thoughts that come to your mind, Matt?
Well, he kind of said that they kind of blew him off a little bit. And I don't know if that, like you said, Dave, we're just human beings working on cars. We're going to forget to leave something connected sometime or leave an air filter box. But you ever heard the term brown nosing? I'm going to, I'm sorry, we're going to let's take a look at that for you. I'm going to do a complimentary throttle body service for this guy. We're going to do something. That car's been ingesting
air for 2 months.
Unfiltered air for 2 months. Maybe it didn't really hurt anything. If Jason was in here, our oil guy, he'd be going, oh my God, all that stuff is in the oil. So I'm going to go a little bit further with that customer. Maybe the guy had bad engine mounts, but we need to communicate about this. It sounds like you got the brush off. I'd certainly go back and have a talk to him and say, hey, man, you sold me $700 worth of mounts after, leaving my air filter box off, which you discounted as nothing. And maybe truly it didn't really cause
it may not have done any damage at all, but it is kind of one of those things like, oh, we're really sorry about that. Can I, because I would change the oil for him or, complimentary air filter and maybe clean the throttle body, something like that. Just, because was there any damage done? I don't know that any was done, but at some level, something on some level.
I'm not sure the type of system. Maybe the mass airflow sensor is all gummed up with sand and dirt because it was going over it wasn't being filtered. There's all kinds of different things, but man, if that was happening at my shop, I certainly hope we would be paying a lot more attention, doing what we can do, invite the
I like to watch Matt turn red. I'm pretty sure he would embarrass. So when we come back, we want to talk about why people replace mounts for vibrating engines. And we're taking phone calls at 602-277-5827. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys.
Ouch! Being out of tune is no fun, and maybe even a little painful. Hi, this is Lee Weatherby, owner of Accurate Automotive in Mesa. At Accurate, we are a family-owned and operated one-stop automotive repair shop that specializes in building long-term relationships that are in tune with your needs, not ours. We've been recognized nationally as one of the top shops in the country, but for over 20 years, our priority has stayed focused on providing quality automotive service and repair at a fair price. I invite you to come in and see the difference an in-tune relationship can make for you and your car. With our free courtesy inspection, a $49 value, we feel it is well worth our investment in you because we believe good long-term relationships start early with your first walk through our doors. Accurate Automotive, home of friends serving friends, just off Broadway and Robson in Mesa since 1992. For more information, check us out online at accurateautomotiveaz.com today.
The 5th Annual Patriot All-Americas Golf's Bowl Game, bringing the nation's top collegiate golfers to the Wigwam for an exciting 3-day invitational from December 29 to December 31. More than just a golf tournament, each player will carry a commemorative bag bearing the name of a fallen soldier from their community to benefit the Folds of Honor Foundation. Spectators and families are welcome to watch the exciting on-course action and support the players over this holiday season. Visit PatriotAllAmerica.com for event details.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and bumper-to-bumper radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE MasterTechs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
This is Bumper to Bumper Radio, KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Welcome back to Bumper Radio. Dave Riccio, Matt Allen. Matt's laughing at me. Anyway, Bumper to Bumper Radio, I am easy to laugh at, is is a show to help you with your car. Bumper to Bumper Radio is attached to a network of auto shops. These are shops that Matt and I believe in, that you can take your car to. We would send our family members there. We would confidently send you there. And these are shops where you can, the owner is not in some corporate office in Chicago. If you got a problem, you can get it handled. That's a big deal. And then at Bumper to Bumper Radio, you can send emails to Matt and I. They're not emails that we're going to respond to. You can use the website to find a good shop by putting in your zip code. But if you send us an email there, a lot of times we use those emails to, answer online or even for topics for future shows. So if you got a question, like I think this one from David, it's kind of an important question. He got motor mounts to fix an engine vibration. And I kind of wanted to address that because that's something that comes up. And as mounts get old and they start to sag, you start to get some engine vibrations. There's also engine vibrations because the engine's not idling right. But good mounts usually absorb a lot of that stuff. And if you're going to get mounts, buy factory mounts. So the guy at the shop, we got these other mounts here. No, I want the ones that actually say Chrysler on them. Any shop can get Chrysler mounts, or they can get Mercedes mounts, or Honda mounts. But aftermarket mounts, I still haven't seen one that works. It's like a unicorn. Yeah. I'm still waiting to see a unicorn. I'm still waiting to see an aftermarket mount that actually works. So you want to make sure you're getting factory mounts.
And contrary to most aftermarket parts, we buy a water pump for your Honda. Honda doesn't make the water pump that's made by Asen or made by whoever manufactures those pumps or that belt or that other idler bearing component or you name the part, the fuel pump. Honda is not in the business of making fuel pumps. So I don't know what it is about mounts, why nobody in the aftermarket has a good mount. Maybe that's that.
Yeah, they have a secret sauce they build that rubber with.
Speaking of the shops, the bumper-to-bumper shops and being in the community, this time of year, everybody's out at the holiday parties. We're out having a little sauce, cocktail, little toddy.
Sucking back on Grandpa's cough syrup.
Yeah, exactly. So drinking and driving is not something, and we always mention texting and driving. Every time of the year we need to be aware of not drinking and driving, especially so focused around the holidays. We're out. There's so many more opportunities condensed into a 4-week period. So one of the bumper-to-bumper shops, Desert Car Care in Chandler, on Tuesdays having an event in conjunction with MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. They're tie one on for safety, so you can go out there and sign the pledge not to drink and drive, and put the little bow tie on your antenna, and it's in honor of the Chandler police officer who was killed by a drunk driver on Halloween a couple years ago. And when you go out there, Frank's going to give you a free set of windshield wiper blades and some future discounts for stopping in, saying hi, and committing not to drink and drive this season or ever.
And it's so much easier to get a cab now. I mean, it really is.
Uber
it. So much more convenient. Man, we got some phone calls we got to get to here. Let's go with, looks like Roy in Arizona City on a 97 Thunderbird. How can we help you, Roy? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, we have a 97 Thunderbird, and my oil just seems to disappear every time I fill it up. And there's no leak in the garage or any place.
The motor oil disappears?
Yes.
Okay. Well, now when you say disappears, how much oil is being lost over what period of time of being driven?
Oh, man. Not very long. A month and a half maybe, or a month.
Yeah, but how many miles is that? Yeah, it's a while.
I wrote that down before. I don't even remember what I did with that, but I remember driving it to Phoenix and back. And when it came back and I checked, it was almost a quarter of
Well, that's not going to be something totally unusual on a 97, Thunderbird with some higher miles on it. If you're putting oil in and it's not going on the ground, it's being consumed and burned out the tailpipe. So, you're going to have to do an oil consumption test, and the thing to do is whether you change the oil, you have to know where you're starting. You have to duplicate the condition each time. You shouldn't check it and then have your brother or somebody else check it to tell you it's low or someone else tell you it's full. So no matter what you're doing, if you think your car is consuming oil, you're going to want to get the oil, get the car warmed up, operating temperature on a flat level surface, have the car running, shut it off. Pick however much time you want to wait. 2 minutes. Let the oil drain down in. Take the dipstick out, wipe it, and check it. Take a picture of it. We've got smartphones now, cameras, whatever. Take another picture of it. Sometimes you can check the oil, and it's very deceiving. You have oil all the way down one side of the dipstick and none on the other. Mark that. Maybe scribe it with something, and then check it every 500 miles. Don't have anybody add oil, and then get to a point where you're going to add oil slowly back to the car, maybe in 1,000 or 1,500 miles, and you really need to determine it. I mean, it's like you've got to have something to quantify with all my oil or it's getting lost, and then we'll know if we have a problem.
Well, we got to sneak one in here quickly. We've got Zeke from Phoenix on a 1993 Chevy Astro van. How can we help you, Zeke? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Fuel pump problems. I put a fuel pump in it, and it didn't work. So I changed the relay, and I put a ECM in it, and I still had a problem there. So I run a hot wire over to the fuel pump, and it works. It runs fine.
Okay, so it sounds like the fuel pump's not the problem.
No, it's not. I have 3 fuel pumps that work.
Well,
give them away at white elephant gift parties this Christmas. You know?
Well,
hey, you got a fuel pump.
Yeah, and the fuel gauge works, so it's not all the wire. But I did notice that the tank, the wire coming up is really pressed against the tank and the frame, really hard. And I noticed that it had butt connectors on one of the sides where the wire had been patched up. And I'm wondering if it's just eating the wire up down there.
Well, I mean, we've got to get to that wiring harness where it makes the connection to the fuel pump, and we need to test that for voltage. But you've got to be able to, you need to do that with a test light, something that's really going to draw some amperage, like the fuel pump is going to. See if you can light that light. It sounds like if you're running a 12-volt wire to it, it's obvious that the ground is working. We need to get a road map. So get your wiring diagram, and let's work backwards from there and trace it back to the relay and find out what's going on there and get it figured out. But don't buy a 4th fuel pump, please.
There's a run on fuel pumps at his local auto parts store. Well, we're glad you could join us. Thanks, Bree, for running the dials and making us some new music. If you're looking for a competent shop, bumpertobumperradio.com. We'll see you next week.